Hello to all, and welcome to Star Wars Opinion. Now that some time has passed since the release of the Rise of Skywalker teaser at Star Wars Celebration, I would like to share some of my thoughts related to the teaser, the upcoming movie, and what part Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis may play in the film. For a good part of the last year, I've thought about ways in which Episode 9 would be able to tie together all the films in the saga while providing a definite conclusion. I thought that one of the best ways to do so would be through flashbacks, possibly in the form of a Force vision, a hologram, etc. This would give us, and the sequel trilogy characters, well, at least Rey and Kylo, a better connection to the past, especially the prequels. It would also allow the opportunity for prequel actors, such as Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid, and Natalie Portman, to reprise their roles, even if they were short cameos. I also had, and still have, a theory as to Snoke's involvement in the film. The limited information that the teaser gives us neither proves nor disproves my theory as of right now. I think Snoke is Plagueis. I may discuss that theory in a different video. So, for now, let's assume that's the case. Snoke is Darth Plagueis, the overarching villain of the entire saga, whose identity is never revealed until the final film. There, we learn how he has influenced the course of events throughout the saga from the shadows, with no one the wiser. He did indeed find a path to immortality, and fooled two apprentices, Palpatine and Ren, into believing they had killed him. He's never wanted to be well known as a leader, but rather to keep his indirect rule of the galaxy a secret from everyone. Now I know that the Darth Plagueis novel is officially Legends, however most of the events, circumstances, and details do fit into current canon. In the novel, Plagueis planned to rule the Republic with Sidious, but wanted his apprentice to be the public face of their partnership, with his own involvement unknown. Near the end of the novel, when Sidious attacks him, Plagueis doesn't resist, depending on his immortality through the Force. After Plagueis is dead, Sidious feels a ripple in the Force that makes him momentarily wonder if his master is actually dead or still alive. This could have been a brief failure on Plagueis' part to keep his presence in the Force cloaked from his apprentice, an ability they both use to hide their true nature from the Jedi. In a similar fashion, Plagueis made Kylo Ren think that he, Snoke, was dead. In both cases, I think Plagueis could easily have been physically there or just force projecting himself. Either way would work. He probably foresaw his apprentice's imminent betrayal. In the novel, he did have a vision of the future after seeing Anakin, which made him panic, worried that the boy would be trained as a Jedi by Qui-Gon. So, wanting to control things in a subtle fashion, while knowing that his apprentice was about to turn on him, that the Chosen One was near and wanting to stay hidden, he decided to stage his murder by Sidious. Plagueis knew that Sidious wouldn't veer too far from the plans that his master had set in place. And when the Chosen One finished balancing the Force, Plagueis knew that only one Jedi and one Sith would remain, each order needing to rebuild before they could be destroyed. At some point, Plagueis would go into the unknown regions, where he later took command of the First Order. Plagueis proved to be right, as Anakin Skywalker was involved in the destruction of almost the entire Jedi Order. Yoda dies in exile not too long before his counterpart Sidious is killed by his own apprentice. With Anakin's death, only one Jedi, Luke, and one Sith, Plagueis, survive. When Luke's attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order fails terribly, Plagueis is there to take the latest in the line of the Chosen One as his apprentice, a new Vader. While the one Jedi, Luke, fails to do his job and help keep the Force balanced, Rey, by the will of the Force, in one way or another, comes into being to help balance the Force. One Sith, one Quasi-Sith, against one Jedi, one Quasi-Jedi. Knowing that this new Jedi will rise, Plagueis wants to find Skywalker's place of exile and destroy him, destroying the Jedi Order with him, while keeping anyone, any potential new Jedi to be trained, from finding him first. Despite the efforts of Plagueis' minions, Rey reaches Skywalker. Now that there are two Jedi to balance things out, Plagueis uses Kylo to plant doubts in the impressionable Rey. After she is lured to the Supremacy, Plagueis plans to extract the location from Rey and then have Kylo kill her. After that, they will destroy the Resistance and then Skywalker, removing any threat to Plagueis' rule of the galaxy behind the mask of the First Order. However, being a good strategist, Plagueis has a backup plan. He knows that Kylo cares about Rey, and much like Vader could turn against his master to save someone he loves. If that happens, Plagueis will fake his death again, knowing that Kylo and Rey will not be able to work together very long. Almost all end results are a win for Plagueis at this point, since he'll be dead again. After Luke's sacrifice on Crait, Plagueis needs one of the following. Rey and Kylo kill each other. Kylo kills Rey and stays on the dark side. Rey kills Kylo and turns to the dark side. Or Kylo turns Rey to the dark side. Plagueis wants them as servants or dead. That said, neither of them is a threat to him alone. So, the film, The Rise of Skywalker, could start with Rey and Kylo still fighting, and at some point learning that Snoke is still alive. Maybe because the Force connection still exists? I have to say, at the end of Last Jedi, when they both look at each other and have that final Force connection, it kind of seems like they both realize that, Snoke must still be alive if he's the one that instigated this. Just a side note. Maybe they find him together, and he reveals his identity as Darth Plagueis. Cue the flashback showing his unseen influence. Tells them that he's immortal, that he cannot be betrayed, that he cannot be beaten. And then they must decide what to do. Destroy him, maybe? And how? That's a good question. I'm not sure which of those two would survive. Both? Kylo? Rey? Neither? I kind of would like to see Plagueis, Rey, and Kylo all die, destroying the Sith and the Jedi once and for all, bringing balance to the Force once and for all. But I don't really see that one happening. So those are my ideas involving the Rise of Skywalker and Darth Plagueis. Now, as for Sidious, like I said before, I was hoping to see flashbacks to the prequels in Episode 9, so when I saw the teaser and heard the Emperor's laugh, I was thinking, oh yeah, that might actually happen. I was honestly somewhat taken aback when I saw and heard all the theories about his physical return, as I really never considered that as a possibility. Now, I'm not totally against that being the case, but I do feel it cheapens the ending of Return of the Jedi. And yes, Palpatine could be the thread that ties the three trilogies together. But aside from that, I think that people are getting a little too excited about that idea a little too early. Though, I get it, it's Palpatine. It's so easy for people to be sent down the wrong path in movie trailers these days, as the movie makers want you to think the wrong thing about something. The Last Jedi trailer is an example. After all, they were trying to make you think that Rey was joining Kylo. At this point in time, I think that Palpatine is just being used to hype the film up, especially since this is the last film in the saga, and the reception of The Last Jedi was not the best. I personally think that The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi both failed to live up even close to the hype they received. Of course, it's not unlikely that I'm wrong on this, that Snoke isn't Plagueis, that Sidious will be the villain of The Rise of Skywalker, etc. But, if it happens, if even 50% of that happens, of what I've theorized in this video, I tell you, I'm going to be screaming in theaters. I'm going to be screaming in the theater. I will see it multiple times. But yeah. Anyway, regardless, that's my 2 cents. If you made it this far, thank you for your time, and may the Force be with you.